Good evening, everyone. It's now 6 o'clock. We're ready to start our new year, new beginnings. We're going to move forward in a good way. We got a lot of things to do in this session, and we're going to get some things accomplished. But I just want to thank all of you for trusting me for these next 4 years. I don't want to betray that trust, and I'm going to work hard that that never happens. But I just want to thank you. This is a new year. Forgetting those things behind us and looking forward. That's what I plan on doing. And hopefully we can do that together. At this time, I'm going to ask my friend, Pastor Jamie Duncan. Thank you for being here. We're getting pastors to lead us in invocation so we can have a true blessing over our endeavors. So I'm asking him to come and lead us to the throne of grace.
Heavenly Father, we're so thankful for a new year.
Yes.
For new faces in this room, for new graces that abound in this new year. And Lord, we thank you for the city. Lord, we thank you for the blessing of our community, the leaders of this community, the folks of this community. Lord, we want to do your will. And so as we're gathered here today, as this council is gathered here today, we pray, God, that you'd give every person in this room wisdom. You promise us in your word that if we ask for wisdom, you'll give it to us without finding fault. What a great promise.
Yes.
And so we ask for that today. Lord, we're thankful again for all that you're going to do in and through this community. We ask for your provision. Lord, we ask for your protection over us, even as we know inclement weather is coming over these next few days. And God, we'll trust you.
Yes.
We trust you with everything that's on this agenda tonight, Lord, that your will be done. In Jesus Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Now we're going to have comments from citizens. Before we get started, my goal this year and the years to come is the only comments that you will have to give is thank you. Meaning we want to be able to serve you so good that you don't have to come here with complaints. In the future, I'm asking you that if you have an issue, my phone is going to be available. You can call me day or night. I'm used to that. I'm a minister 24/7. But I'm asking you this. Don't bring it up here to council and you haven't talked to anybody prior to that. That's not the way to do it. If you have a problem, we will address it. I have counsel here. We have a new counsel that is excited to serve you. So ready to serve you. So I'm asking you, please, give us an opportunity to do that. If there's an issue, call me. And hopefully we'll have an administrator in place and we will be able to get some things done. That's fair, isn't it? Nobody's saying, I need an amen from somebody. That's fair. Please. So this time, I'm going to ask Ms. Ernestine Wilson to come up and give us her comments. Don't forget to give your name and your address. Okay. I'm sorry. I missed the pledge. We're getting ready to get it. I'm excited, y'all. Please forgive me.
Okay, my name is Ernestine Wilson. I live at 112 Morris Lane here in Pickens. And I'd just like to welcome some of your new city council members. Looking forward to seeing that we can put our trust in your work and doing to what we elected you for. Hoping that you know you're working for the citizens and everybody can get along together. We can do it the easy way, the hard way, but we all need to get along together. We need to leave our troubles outside, our bitterness outside. A dog can bark, so everyone should speak and be happy. That's all I have.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, forgive me, y'all, but let's give our pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Mr. Barry Crawford.
Yeah, forgive me for the hat and all. I'm still at work, and I got to leave as soon as I talk here.
That's all right.
But first of all, I want to congratulate all the new faces here, the mayor, council. I'm so happy. New beginnings. You said it.
Yes,
New
sir.
beginnings. We
Yes.
need it. Our parade this year was a success. But let me tell you something.
Mhm.
Chief Beach, his staff, we pulled off one event. Allie, for this officer.
I was
Danny,
there.
you was there. You was
Yes.
there.
Yes.
Look at that, working together.
Yes.
We've raised upwards of $20,000 for that officer in our neighboring county.
That's awesome.
How about that?
That's awesome.
And that was our first mission together.
That's right.
The city with the market at the mill. For those of you that don't know me personally, my name's Barry Crawford. I'm over the market at the mill right down here in Pickens.
Mhm.
It's 110 acres, and we're going to work together to make that an asset for Pickens, South Carolina.
Amen.
There's over 80 businesses currently in there. And let me tell y'all, they are just as important as the folks you see that you drive through Main Street. We're behind the block wall down there, but we've got people that drive from Simpsonville over toward Gaffney. They drive here Wednesday through Saturday to invest in our town. They see the vision. We're trying to make it work. It's hard. The foot traffic's hard in Pickens. If we was in Easley or Greenville, we'd probably be knocking it out of the park. The foot traffic's hard here, but we got to kind of build this thing around like a tourism atmosphere. Not working together. We've got the rodeo. We've got Bridge Brother. That's one of the best paying businesses in the city of Pickens. And we're going to have a grand opening for them, sir, right?
Yes, sir.
They,
Yes,
they,
sir.
they came here during COVID, and we never got to have a grand opening for Bridge Brothers. Those guys is down there, they need to hire 45 more people right now. And I mean, they start them out $30, $40 an hour, and they will train you. And as they train you, your pay goes up. So we need that here in the city of Pickens. That's an
Yes.
asset. And I want to bring that, and I want us to work together.
Okay.
I want to brand new beginning. Brian, y'all over at the chamber, we got to work together, man. We got to bury all this negative stuff, okay? We got to get rid of it. It's got to go.
Yes.
Time. We can get more done. Look what we did on the first event, guys.
Yes.
I mean, look at that. That wasn't even one of ours. That's the officer next door, but that's fine. We did good. And Chief, you and your guys, y'all knocked it out of the park. I appreciate it. I
Yes.
really do. I mean,
Yes.
and look, we've got an awesome police department, fire department, our EMS. We're on it. Let's build on it.
Yes, sir.
Now, the next thing, you guys, some of you don't know me personally, but I'm big into our history of our town, keeping the history of our town. And I want to be included. I've helped build this Doodle Museum out here at the Doodle Trail, and we've talked about it, and we're going to work on it and get that finished. And this water tower in Bruce Field, I want to be involved.
All right.
Call me. I'll get the manpower in there. We'll do it.
That's
Let's
what
save what we got here in our town to keep that small town feel. Growth's fine. It's coming. It's going to come. But we need to keep, that's what Pickens is about. That's why people's moving here. Allie came back home. People come back home. How many come back home?
That's right.
I've seen it. I'm 54, just turned 54 a few days ago. I'm never leaving.
Happy birthday.
This is my town. I love everybody in this room. I'll do
Love you
anything
too.
for you. Just reach out. But please, if you ever down there at the market, I'm asking one thing, and I've asked in the past, if you're down there, just come in one Saturday. That's a good busy day. And stop by a business owner and shake their hand and say, hey, thank you. I don't care if you just do it to one or two. It spreads. Hey, the city came down here and shook my hand. Trust me, it goes a long way.
Yes.
Because a lot of them feel like they've been forgot about for these past 3 years. And I need that. I count on you guys to help support me because I don't have it above me. I am the person that's over that. So I need a good relationship with the people with me. You see what I'm saying? So, but that property, we have good events down there. You know, coming up 4th of July, I'd like to work with you guys. Maybe the city can do the fireworks. We do some entertainment. It don't cost the city anything when we do it. I mean, we'll get together and talk about it. If they want to do something at the amphitheater, I need to know ahead of time so I don't spend thousands of dollars getting a band and we have a band down there and a band up here. I want to work together. So one weekend they doing something, one weekend we're doing something, and Donna and them over. I'm not going to interfere with what they've got going out here at the Doodle Trail. You know, let's keep something going all the time. And it's about working together. And I know I'm talking out of line now, but I think we should keep something going on, share each other's event schedule. We got our 2024. Let's share it so we're not overriding each other, having the same event on the same day. Let's not do that. Let's work together. And I'm sorry, but I just wanted to come up here.
Don't be sorry.
And we've got 110 acres down there. If you guys ever need it, we've got the biggest parking lot in the city. If y'all want to have an event down there on your own, have at it. If anybody wants to have anything down there, have at it. The property's available. I want us to utilize it and bring people to Pickens.
Thank you, Barry.
That's all. Thank you.
I'm Richard too. All right. All right. Item number 4 in our agenda is the approval of the minutes. Our regular meeting of December the 11th, 2023, and special call meeting on December the 18th, 2023. I need a motion for the approval of those minutes. Can I get a second? You have a second? All right. Is there anything that we need to discuss as far as the minutes? Everything's okay? All in favor? Raise your right hand. It is unanimous with Mr. Robert Neely is absent. He called me and he is sick. You know how this flu is going around. And he said, an old man like him is hard to get back. So please pray for him as he tries to get better. Now we're ready to elect our mayor pro tem. I'm going to hand it over to our administrator to give us some direction as we move forward.
Yes, the code says that after the election, every 2 years, council will elect a new pro tem. And so I think Mayor Scipio, it would be appropriate if you wanted to ask for any nominations from the floor, and then y'all select who you want to serve as a pro tem. The mayor pro tem will serve. If the mayor can't attend an event or something like that, the mayor pro tem will step in and serve as representing the city in that capacity in those cases.
All right. And it's a 2-year term. So now I'm opening the floor for nominations.
I'll make a nomination that Danny Adams serve as mayor pro tem.
Are there any other names?
I'll nominate Robert Neely.
Robert Hill. Are there any other? I need a motion to close on said names.
Make a motion that we close.
On said names, all right. Is there a second? All right. We got a Cameron second. All in favor to close the nominations? Raise your right hand. Okay. Now we're gonna have vote. Danny Adams will be our first one to vote. And you can vote for yourself. So at this time, we're gonna vote for Danny Adams. You raise your right hand. It is 4. I think, Danny, you got it. You just got it because Robert wasn't here.
You're probably right.
No, I'm just kidding. But, yeah, we got you, baby. We thank you so much for you. Are you willing to serve?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, we have our administrative report. Mr. Administrator,
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Floor
Mayor
is
City.
yours.
All right. The first thing I want to mention is the meeting that we're having at 6 o'clock on January the 16th at the middle school. As our citizens know, we were out of compliance with one category of what's tested in our water. And this council, along with CWS, wanted to have a public meeting just to inform the council, the citizens, about what happened, what's been done to address it, what our long-term needs are. So again, this is going to be at 6 o'clock at the middle school on January 16th. Brian, thank you for posting this on our website. We appreciate the posting there and getting it out on social media. One other thing, just a quick update on, a reminder about, is in November, we issued a notice to proceed with a $5+ million grant that is going to provide over 14,000 square feet of new water line, a number of new fire hydrants in some of the neediest areas in our water system. There's a lot of work to do with our water system. We're going to learn more about that from Drew and others on the 16th. But a lot of good things are underway, and this grant is certainly part of it. And the grant should be complete sometime in June of this year. The other thing I wanted to mention is just an update on our audit. Mandy expects to complete her work on the audit by the end of next month on the 2022 audit, at which time our auditors, Green Finney, will need some time to wrap everything up. But sometime early spring, this council will get a report as well as the document. And this document, of course, will be posted to the city's website. I know that transparency is something that this mayor and council have been big on. It's exciting to be able to get our hands on exactly where we are financially, and I'm looking forward to getting both these past 2 years' audits complete, especially as we go into the budget season. Staff will start developing the budget within the next month. And then early spring, have a draft budget for this council to consider and start to work on with budget workshops and things like that. Cross-training is continuing for the frontline staff. This is just a good thing to enhance the service that our citizens are provided when they come to City Hall. It also expands the skills of our staff. And so that's underway, and that's going to continue, and it's good to have that redundancy and that backup in case somebody's out. And then we're going to have a presentation on the Heritage on Haygood later this evening. I think we just had the ladies come in, so very good. All right. And Mayor, that's all I have at this time. If there's any questions, I'll do my best to answer.
Thank you so much for that report. Now we're ready to continue further to approve our 2024 calendar. It should be before you. Okay.
And that's what part of the administrator's report. Yes, sir, right there.
There we go. Okay. Is that correction? Can I see it?
Okay. She emailed that to everybody.
Okay. Just a correction that everybody has an email for as far as, is that the Friday after Thanksgiving?
Yes, sir.
Yes, and it should be on your email. But all the other dates that we have available, which will be on our website and on the Facebook page, that will give us our regular council sessions and our work sessions, and also all of the holidays that we observe here at the city.
What was that correction there?
The mayor, it was a Friday after Thanksgiving. It should be November the 29th.
Instead of the 25th?
2024. See it?
Yeah, I have 25th, it should be the 29th.
Should be the 29th, yeah.
Third line
The
up.
Friday is the
Third line
29th.
up.
And Mr. Rogers, Don has emailed those to all of council members. So, yes, sir. Email the corrected version around.
With said correction, now we open up for not nominations, but motions to accept and approve this schedule of events in our calendar.
I make a motion, we accept and approve.
Second.
Got a second from Ms. Allen Henders? All in favor, raise your right hand. It's unanimous with Mr. Neely absent. Okay, number 8, first reading ordinance of 2024-1 to amend chapter 18, article 4, section 413, R20, single-family residential of the official zoning ordinance of Pickens, South Carolina. Would you please explain that for us before we go into?
Yes, sir, I'm happy to do that. Basically, what this ordinance would do is to create an additional, oh, wait a minute, make sure I'm at the right one. Okay. We have, the city of Pickens currently limits, the prohibits sexually oriented business in every zoning district. However, the zoning code contains an entire section that defines regulations pertaining to sexually oriented businesses.
I think we did.
Oh, I'm sorry, am I the wrong one?
Yeah.
Okay, we're on the R20.
Uh-huh.
This ordinance basically would provide an additional category for a residential ordinance. Currently, our largest size lots in our zoning ordinance is an R12, which would allow for a 1,200 square foot lot. 12,000 square foot lot. This is a R20. The Planning Commission, in response to the previous council, recommends that adding this larger lot is just going to provide an additional opportunity for residential growth to have lot sizes of 20,000 square feet, which is almost a half an acre. So it's just adding an additional residential lot size in our zoning classifications.
All right. I'd like to open the floor for a motion to approve first reading.
Just to confirm, this isn't restricted to a certain area of the city, correct?
That's right.
And the one-family dwelling, does that include mobile homes, or are we talking about actual structure?
No mobile home.
No mobile homes, I was hoping that was.
That's correct.
No
Yes.
mobile home, this is built house, okay.
Correct. Yes.
These are good questions. We still have the motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
It's been properly moved and second. We have Mr. Floyd
I
Rogers.
second.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Danny Adams made the motion. Mr. Floyd Rogers made the second. Are there any other questions? Okay, all in favor, raise your right hand. It's unanimous. Mr. Neely being absent. Now we're ready. Number 9, first reading of ordinance 2024-02 to amend chapter 18, article 4, section 824, sexually oriented businesses of the official zoning ordinance of Pickens, South Carolina.
And I almost got through with that, jumping ahead of the game, Mayor,
That's
so
all right.
sorry about that. But yes, currently, we do not allow sexually oriented businesses in the city of Pickens. We do have in our zoning ordinance language defining, what a sexually oriented business would have to consist of, regulations, if you will. But since we don't allow them in the first place, the Planning Commission is recommending that section be deleted from the zoning code.
I'm sorry, could you explain it to me one more time? What we're going to delete?
Our current code has defines what a sexually oriented business the regulations that they must follow.
Oh,
But the code, another section of the code, there's no section that allows sexually oriented businesses in the city of Pickens. There's no zoning classification that would allow for it. So that is unnecessary to have the language defining the regulations associated with a sexually oriented business, and the planning commission is just recommending that that be deleted, since they're not allowed anyway.
Okay, now I understand. Thank you so much. Do you understand as a public? Because sometimes I don't want to just move forward without people understanding where we're at. And I know people want to get home, but this is very important.
I read this and I was wondering, why was this put in there? Somebody thought this was important.
I have no idea. That was
So why was there a prohibition against this? And then we have pages, and so all of this is gonna go away, all these pages and pages. Yeah. So,
Yes.
so I mean, I have a concern that somebody thought it was smart to put this in here. And now we're gonna do away with it, and we're just gonna have one little line that said, we don't allow sexually explicit businesses in our town, is that?
Yes.
They're not allowed, and so the planning commission feels like that language is unnecessary since they're not allowed in the city anyway.
Okay. And can you tell me where that, can you read that language for us? I mean, that particular, I'm not familiar with where that is, where the.
Well,
This is
basically,
prohibited.
each zoning classification defines what businesses it would allow. And unless it is specified, it's not allowed. There are no sexually oriented businesses specified in any of our zoning classifications for business.
Okay.
So it's, therefore, there's no way a business could open up, a sexually oriented business could open up within the city of Pickens.
Okay.
And so there's not really language that says they're prohibited, there's just no language approving them or where they would be regulated. So because they're not allowed in the city because there's no language saying this is what zoning classification they would go into, that language defining the regulations is unnecessary.
I think it's basically giving us clarity to where we don't have all these stipulations in here. It's just not going to happen.
Right.
And I think that's what we need to do as a council to make sure that we're just explicit about what's allowed in the city limits and what's not.
Right.
So I think that's where we're at now. We're trying to make sure that we don't even entertain it for discussion.
But if a council in the future, I'm thinking as a lawyer, okay? If a council in the future somehow know that we allowed a sexually oriented business, we'd have nothing to control that business. Whereas if we left this in here, it's not hurting anything for it to be sitting there.
Well, I think you're right. I think the point is, and I think the mayor is exactly right on with what the planning commission was wanting to achieve. There's been people who say, well, if you don't allow it, why do you have a whole section defining the regulations?
Right.
And, so that can be problematic. And so I think removing that is going to provide that clarity. But to your point, I think if a future council wanted to allow sexually oriented business in a certain zoning classification, they would want to also reinsert that back into the zoning code.
Right.
And it might not necessarily be that. It might be something altogether different that a new council would do.
Right.
But what we as a council are saying is no.
Right.
I don't want it to be cloudy. We want to be very direct and say we don't allow that in Pickens. And if somebody else comes and wants to do that, I think the citizens are smart enough to demand that first it not be done, and if it is, it has to be some regulations. I think that will be in the future, but I think right now we're being very responsible by not allowing it at all.
I agree about not allowing it, but I just really would like there to be a clear prohibition statement. You know what I mean? If we're gonna eliminate all this, and there's nowhere we can go to see a statement. That is prohibited in this town and it's right there in the code.
That's what we're trying to do.
While we're eliminating it, that it's nowhere else to be found because it's not included.
Mhm.
So by default, it's eliminated, but we're not stating that, it's just by default. I'd like there to be a clear statement to anybody that reads through our.
Okay, well, that's applying or starting another ordinance.
Right.
There's a process for that.
Right.
And so
I just
you bringing that brought up, then we will do that. If all council is for that, then I'm all for it too. But, we need
It's
to
just
do,
one line, it could be one line, we don't.
but you just can't put the line in there.
I understand. Well, we're taking it out, so we
Yeah.
just wanna make sure.
Mhm.
I read it today and I think, well, we're getting rid of this was put in here for a purpose. You know what I mean? Now, probably is in the event that somebody did put one of those businesses in this town, we'd have some controls over it immediately.
Yeah.
Now, we're not gonna do it in this 4 years, but who knows what's gonna happen, you know?
Right, but if you put that, what you said in the ordinance, if you put that in there, it will prohibit it.
Right,
This is the first step towards that.
okay,
And it's good that you said that, then we will, as a council, look into that and and get an ordinance for that,
okay,
to make sure we prohibit it completely.
all right,
Yeah. So that's what these council meetings are all about,
right,
to really discuss these things and get a great understanding, and also make sure that we have to protect our citizens from certain things that we all feel should be there, that should be.
right,
Yeah. We will do that. We will put that as new business
okay.
for next,
Just one little liner in there, that's good for me.
we will do next, new business,
Yeah,
all right? Okay, with that being said, we need to go further with the motion for the first reading be approved for ordinance 2024-2.
I make a motion for first reading be approved. What is it?
2024-2 to
2024.
amend.
To amend, you want me to read that?
You don't have to, just say amendment.
Said amendment.
All right,
Okay.
anybody have a second?
Second.
All right, it's been approved, moved and properly second. All in favor, raise your right hand. It is unanimous with Mr. Neely being absent. First reading of ordinance 2024-3 to amend chapter 18, article 4, section 409, research and limited industrial of official zone ordinance of the city of Pickens. Mr. Administrator.
Yes, sir. Mayor and council, this ordinance basically allows for tattoo businesses in general industrial zones, and it is now including state regulations. So it's basically lining up our zoning ordinance with the state regulations
Okay.
with that. And again, what this does is allows tattoo businesses in general industrial zone areas in the city under state regulations. And the state regulation, an example of that is there must be a certain distance between a church and that type of business. Things like that are what's now included in the language of the ordinance.
Okay. We need to have a motion and a second, then we can have questions or any comments. Could I have a motion to approve first reading?
I make a motion.
Second? It's been moved by Danny and second by Cameron. I'm sorry, Councilman Rivers and Councilman Adams. Please forgive me. Does anybody have any questions?
I just have a comment that if you see on page 3 of this, right before the tattoo insertion, restate sexually oriented businesses. Is that confusing? So maybe we should look at that before the second reading.
There you go. See, that's the whole process. That's why you have a first reading and a second reading. And that's why you have 6 to 7 council people. If somebody doesn't catch it, somebody will. This is healthy. And I thank you for picking that up. With that being said, all in favor, raise your right hand. It's unanimous. Now, number 11, second reading of ordinance number 2023-15, assenting to the rezoning of the property wherein described and to amend the official zoning made of the city of Pickens, South Carolina, that is 567 Hampton Avenue. Mr. Administrator.
Yes, sir. Mayor Scipio, this would basically, this rezoning, and this is second reading, as you said, would basically allow this property, provide more opportunities for different commercial and business use on this property if it were to be rezoned. That's essentially what it does.
Okay. Let's explain to them what property that is on Hampton. You know, does anybody know what the property that is,
It's-
Chief?
That's right.
It's right across from the old,
T-Mobile down there.
the old jail,
T-Mobile there on that corner, that's not.
the vacant
Okay,
parcel that's on a hill.
all right, I just want people to understand what we're talking about.
It does back up to Pickens Elementary School, the entire back
Okay,
border of the
right there,
property.
corner.
And on that, with it backing up to the school, if they come in there and develop it, and they have to put a retention pond or anything back here, they need to make sure there's barriers, fence, whatever with kids, because you know how kids are. You don't want that to lead to trouble
Agreed.
and liability on either side, I don't think. And they might not have to, but need to take the kids' safety into consideration down there.
This being the second reading, is there any way we can help with that? As far as the developer and the school district?
Wouldn't see why not.
I know that it was brought up to the planning commission, the concern about the fencing.
Shh, please.
It was brought up and submitted, but
I'm still not sure where this property is again.
That's if you're going out of Pickens on Highway 8,
Yeah,
you're going down the hill, you get to the stop light, right to your right.
okay.
Need to make sure.
Jennifer,
Yes, sir.
we need your help.
Yeah.
Weigh in on this.
There is a, that's what I introduced.
Hold it just a second.
Always.
Hold it.
Before you get to
Just 1 second.
In case I haven't been introduced yet, I'm Jennifer Vistage, I do all the planning and zoning here in the city. There is a buffer required, there will be a buffer required, either landscaping or a fence of some sort.
Okay.
By the developer.
Uh,
I think that was brought up at the last
planning commission.
planning commission and council meeting too, about a buffer.
It wasn't connected, that was there.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
did
you were,
speak,
that's
yeah.
right, we asked them, yeah,
They did talk about that.
they were fine with the buffer.
So developers are fine with it?
Yes,
Okay. All right. Can I have a motion to approve the second reading?
Make a motion for the second read.
second.
Ron, then second by Councilman Adams. All approved, raise your right hand. It's been approved unanimously. Second reading of ordinance 2023-14 to amend section 14-4 garbage containers. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor Scipio. Basically, this was an issue that was brought up by our Public Works folks. This ordinance would change the way the language as far as when we pick something up. If you are handicapped and need help getting your garbage collected, you can call the city and that will be taken care of for you. This would require a citizen to get a letter from a doctor, and then it was amended on first reading to also include if you have a handicap placard. That will also satisfy that notification that you're handicapped and that Public Works is going to pick up your garbage. So this basically is if you are handicapped, need help, the city Public Works will come and collect your garbage and empty it for you. You don't have to bring it down. And you just need to get a doctor's note or a handicap placard, and that'll satisfy.
So one person in the house does have one, and others in the house do not have one? It doesn't matter, just as long as there is one in the house?
The ordinance does not get that particular, so if one person, property owner or renter in the house has one, we'll pick it up.
Okay.
Because I'm thinking that it's the one that's usually our customer that comes in and tells us they need
Right,
help with that. They're paying the bill
yeah,
there for the sanitation. So
and that person needs to come in still and show the city the placard and then request.
Either the placard or a note from a doctor.
From the doctor.
Yes, sir, one of those, either or, yep.
All right.
all right, I need a motion.
I have another question.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Section D, you see down 4 lines down, it said, carts that become damaged through no fault of the city. I mean, that's really vague, I mean, I don't know how are we gonna determine that? I mean, I can just see some folks, including myself, getting upset, thinking, wait, I didn't heard that somehow none of my garbage can got tore up, and now we have this debate going on and how it got tore up, and then at the end of the line, on that statement, it says, and a fee will be set forth by the city council in the annual budget process that they have to pay to get another one. And that's not even, we don't even know what that amount's gonna be, so that it could be real expensive, and so we can't understand the process of how this gets damaged and who's at fault and how much it's gonna cost. I mean, to me, I could see some folks getting a little upset with this process. Sort of leaves it open to, unless the garbage man runs over their garbage can and destroys it, it's gonna be the owner's fault, period.
Yes, sir, and I think that's what is speaking to, if in the general use, if we damage it, if it's damaged when we're dumping it or emptying it or using it,
Right.
it's on us. If it's not damaged by us during the usual use, then it's gonna be the responsibility of the owner. On the fees, I will let you know that there is a fee structure that's adopted each year with the budget process. It's established. I don't know what it is right offhand, but it probably hasn't changed in a while. And
Please-
council will update
please be
that
quiet.
every year.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Council will update that on an annual basis.
Okay, so is this normal wear and tear? Is there a lifetime on this thing? I know this is gonna come up in this city, this is gonna come up, so is there like a warranty we can give? I mean, is wear and tear, just normal wear and tear, where the wheels come off and they can't get it up the hill anymore? And so the city's gonna say, oh yeah, I mean, it's been 4 years, it's time for a new one, or I think we need to put some clarity to this, so folks, whose budgets are
Okay,
really tight,
what do you suggest the clarity should be?
Well, I think we before we vote on this, we need to sit down and discuss it, because I don't see, I think this is just leaving it open. Why don't we just say, you are always responsible unless the garbage man runs over it for yours, and it will cost you this much money, and we are offering no warranty.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And so there is no, we are very clear.
Wouldn't the warranty come from the manufacturer?
No warranty.
We can't give a warranty as a city.
Right.
Yeah, because we didn't make it. We can't.
Exactly.
But we're providing it.
Yeah,
So
but it's not our
It's also-
responsibility.
It's also gonna cost the city a lot of money if
It
people
already
are
has.
But they're paying
continually.
taxes for that. They're paying taxes to get their garbage picked up, and the city's also providing garbage cans. So I'm just trying to look out for the folks. You know what I mean? After 4 or 5 years, how long are we gonna say, okay, it's time for a new garbage can? You know what I mean? When folks have to come up with $200 to go. I know I bought one before the city provided, and I think it was like $200 to go get one, and then they're gonna go up, and there's a lot of folks who can't afford that, so.
So how do we handle the recycle bins?
Sorry?
Recycle bins are given to the public, how do we handle those?
Oh, we bought those in the city.
I know, but if one went bad or whatever, how did we handle that? To his point,
Just replaced it.
we just replaced it. I would think the same thing would happen, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm at.
Yeah.
If that's
I mean,
good,
but see, what they're trying to do, and I understand you want to do for the public, I do too, that's why I'm here.
Right.
But we have to understand also that the city, this is a little town.
Yeah.
That's really doing the best they can to make this happen. They have been providing garbage cans up until this point. We used to have, I mean, when you know how long we've been here, we've come a long way in a short time.
Yeah.
First, you were just putting your trash out on the road. You didn't have a can.
Yeah, we didn't have.
And if dogs or cats and got into it, you had to go out there, clean it up,
Yeah.
and make sure that they can put it in the garbage can. It's a process, Councilman Rogers, and we are here for the public because we have cans now. And we're making it, and we're here for our employees, because those cans are gonna be able to be used in a better way for them to dump the trash, to where it won't be any problems. But I just don't see how we can guarantee everybody's garbage can if it tears up. If it's done by the city, we are responsible, totally. And if it's done by the city, we need to pay for it. But as time progresses, we're gonna pay for it anyway if it runs, to where it does not able to be used, because we just did that. Those are new cans out there now. And I wish I had the number, but it was a
lot.
It was a lot.
I understand.
And we still behind as far as in that situation, but we're moving forward in it. Now, that being said, give us some direction if we don't want to entertain this for right now.
I think it can be tabled and brought back up at a later date, and we can discuss it later. We
Okay.
can discuss it at a future meeting.
I think this is gonna come up, and I think right now it'll be fine, but I think we've also told the folks that your garbage has to be in the garbage can and out by the street, and we have told them that. Otherwise, it's not gonna get picked up.
Right.
And so now we have told them you're gonna have a garbage can, and it's gonna be by the street, and we're not gonna take anything unless it's in that garbage can. And that, I think we just need to address, okay, so what's it gonna cost if their dog tears it up or whatever? You know what I mean? We gotta have something here. And, how long is it before the city would replace it? I think there ought to be some, they're paying their taxes. That's why they got one. If the city decided it was time to provide those, which they should.
Mm-hmm.
And so we need to have something in there about that. You know what I mean? And before that, let's just say if it's 4 years or whatever the city decides, you know what I mean? Then we'll replace it within after 4 years if the wheels are falling off, because we're requiring you to have it and have it out by the road.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, those are just, I'm not trying to make a problem of this. I just know it's coming. So
It's been here before, and we've taken care of this as far as making sure that we provide cans for our citizens. It's never been an issue. Everybody's not an attorney like you are and thinking those terms. I understand what you're trying to say. We can table this.
Right.
I just don't want to wait or take a lot of time. We don't have an answer right now for this number 12. And we can move further. You can make a motion right now to table this for further discuss. I did that before when I didn't want to do anything.
Well,
We need people to stop talking because this is for the council to decide.
We got our garbage cans this last year. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. This is all new to this city. Most people here, this is all new. You know what I mean? So this whole new process is in play, and I just want to know for the city to clarify now, how is this going to work for the folks that have to come up with the money in the event this breaks?
Make a motion that we
I
table.
make a motion that we table it.
Is there anybody like to second that motion?
I'll second.
It's been moved and properly second that we table this issue until further discussion. All in favor, raise your right hand. All those that don't want to table it, raise your right hand. 3-2, this table. All right. Second reading of ordinance number 2023-20 to amend ordinance number 21-21 to upstate the class schedule as required by Act 176. All right.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor. The General Assembly of South Carolina passed in 2020 Act 176, which requires municipalities to update its business license class schedule every 2 years, and it's time for us to do it this year, and that's what this does.
Can I have a motion for second reading?
Motion for second.
And can I get a second?
Second.
It's been second by Ms. Allen, first by Mr. Rogers, Councilman Rogers. All in favor, raise your right hand. It's unanimous. Number 14, resolution number 2024 R-1, authorizing the sale, transfer, conveyance, and/or scrap or personal property owned by the city of Pickens consisting of obsolete, inoperable, and surplus property as identified by attachment, a competitive bidding to individuals and dealers. Number 14.
Yes, sir. We have some equipment down at our public workshop that is included as an attachment to this resolution. You can go down and look at it if you'd like to at some point. Basically, getting rid of this equipment is going to neaten up the place a little bit, and if we can sell the equipment, that would help. We have a need for a backup brush truck at Public Works. And so, the sale of any of this equipment might help defray the cost of that. But basically, this would just be able to rid ourselves of some unnecessary equipment, clean up the space a little bit, neaten it up a little bit.
Who will be responsible for that?
Yeah, where will this stuff be sold?
The way it's been done before years ago was basically they had an auction. And I think that we could go through that process and let somebody come in, run an auction, have the equipment on site. People can come walk around and look at it. Then the auction can start. They can bid on it. And that would probably be a good way to get as much as we could, out of it. So
I think that should be,
Yeah.
and possibly have it online as well.
yes, we can
Just
do
to
that.
bring
We've
this
actually
in.
got some pictures of, I think, each of the equipment that we can even post online as we advertise for that.
That'd be great.
With that being said, any other questions, comments? Need a motion to approve this resolution?
Make a motion that we approve this resolution.
Do I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. All in favor, raise your right hand. It's unanimous. Okay, resolution 2024 R-2, appointing commissioners to commission of Pickens Regional Joint Water System and other matters related thereunto. All right.
Yes, sir. This is an important appointment that y'all are considering. As you know, the Pickens Regional Joint Water System is the group that is looking at building and operating a new water treatment facility. And we feel like that is the future of how we're going to improve our water system. And we're going to hear more about that at our public meeting on the 16th. This commission is underway, developing plans and working to get grants and things like that. And it's very important that the city of Pickens be represented for this. Those appointed are going to serve according to the bylaws of the commission, and those appointed by this council are going to serve at the pleasure of this council. And with that being said, I would also feel like it would be very appropriate for our Mayor Scipio, to serve, as well as Drew Langston, who is the project manager for Clearwater Systems and is very knowledgeable about our water and as well as this new water treatment plant that they're working to build. So just offer that for you to consider.
And I'd like to piggyback off of that and add, as far as Drew is concerned, he's been a wealth of knowledge to me since I've started this job. I just want him to be able to serve on this board so he can come back and give a report better than I can, to really make it in layman's terms so we can understand it as a council and our citizens. He's very knowledgeable of the water systems and the water business. He's a state director, and we have someone in our midst that can really help us. I need him, and I would like to have him part of this. They have all of the mayors to be a part of it, but I would really like him to be a part of it also, to help us move forward in this big venture. This is a big venture. And y'all, it's a good venture. I've talked to the people. We're talking about having a water system that is so pristine that it won't have to have all those chemicals in it. It's going to be ceramic plates instead of all the chemicals. It's state of the art. The plates come from the Orient. It's something that we're going to be proud of. And even though we've had water problems up until this point, real soon we ain't going to have water problems anymore. And that's one of the things that is very important for a municipality to grow. You need water. You need a good internet system, and you need transportation for people to say they want to come to Pickens and do business. We're getting two of them out of the way, but there's other things that we need to do. So I would please ask the council to please approve this so we can move forward.
Approve resolution number 2024 R2.
Thank you.
With Drew Langston and Mayor Scipio.
With Drew,
Okay.
yeah, with Mayor and
Thank you so
Scipio
much.
and Drew Lane.
And you will be informed as I'm informed. That's one of the things I want you to know as council and citizens. If I know it, you will know it. That's very important to me. And we're going to move forward in a beautiful way to keep our council so they can make informed decisions. It's very important.
Drew agreed to do this too, right?
Drew, do you agree to do it?
I agree.
Making sure.
Just making sure. I did you like that, didn't I?
I don't want to throw you in there if you don't want to be there.
I'm happy to serve. I'd be happy to serve.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He has helped us tremendously, especially with our problems with DHEC. He jumped right on it, was able to really talk to the people in a very educated way. He made me look real good when we were on the conference call. Thank you. Pickens is getting ready to move into a different realm, y'all, to where we're moving in harmony, and we're using the attributes and assets that we have already. I want to thank publicly Trey Adams. You wouldn't believe, I asked him to call me every time there's a problem. I wanted to be in the loop. And y'all, if you had any idea how many times Trey has called me, it gave me a true understanding that I should not complain half as much as I do with the hard working that's being done in Pickens. Trey, you're doing a good job. And I want to say that publicly. Thank you. And a haircut looks good too. But I just wanted to bring that in there. Now we're getting ready to have a vote. I'm sorry. I need a second? Okay, Cameron, second. I'm sorry. Councilman Rivers, please forgive me. You know, I don't mean that. Charge it to the head, not the heart. All right. Now that's been moved and properly second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Thank you so much. I'm excited about this so much. Thank you. Now we have a presentation on the heritage on Haygood. Come right up.
Appreciate this.
Give us your name.
My name is Beth Vellner.
Thank you.
give you a couple of copies. My spouse and I own the historic Hampton House, which is the wedding venue on Hampton. And I'm glad I made it to this meeting because I was getting ready to tell the Pickens County all about this and I was in the wrong spot. So I'm so glad I'm in the right place
You're
to have the right conversation today. So thanks y'all for having me. So in addition to the wedding venue, another arm of my business is that I renovate houses, and I've been doing it for 25 years. And I want to be able to renovate another property and another project here in Pickens. And I love the Teen Canteen, which borders our property that Historic Hampton House has on Haygood. So if you want to move to page 3 of our presentation, ultimately, what I would love to do is reimagine that teen canteen space and convert that currently empty building and renovate that property into a 6 to 8 unit apartment building. It's a fantastic space. I love the location of that building. The property, from a renovation design concept, I could put together something with a contemporary influence, but yet pay homage to the fantastic architecture that we have on Haygood. It would be 2 to 3 stories from a building perspective. I might have some large outdoor space if you allow me the opportunity to buy the building and renovate it. I believe working on this project on Haygood would be a wonderful opportunity to beautify that corner and then also help to beautify Haygood and continue to work our way down Haygood to really beautify that fantastic street. For the project itself, as I think about how to reimagine that teen canteen space, it'd be a great mix of some green space. There's plenty of parking for the building already on the property. And just the location of this property would be a fantastic spot for multifamily with its proximity to the city for people for walking, proximity to the Doodle Trail, etc. I put together a little presentation so people could get an idea of how could someone turn this, that square brick building, because really it's a fantastic brick rectangle, into something that could be a multifamily property. So if you go to page 4, we took the liberty of creating some very high-level renderings. Now, these are truly conceptual renderings. This would be very close to, but not exactly what the property would look like. But page 4 shows you the existing building, the teen canteen, and the second image shows you a concept of what that property would look like when renovated. As you can see, we've got a lot of really fantastic outdoor space that's available with patios and porches. It would be stair access for these units. And then what I really love about the way the building is laid out is that the main level is on a really nice grade. So we would have a fantastic opportunity for some handicap accessible units and to be able to have some accessible space right on the main floor for these apartments. So I wanted to give you all a couple of visuals. So pages 4, 5, 6 give you some visuals of some different angles of the building. And then if you move into the layout spot, it can give you a high-level concept of how well apartments really will fit in that space. So these are all based on the exact schematics of the building in its current state. These are even a little large. There's even an opportunity to, especially on the main floor, put 3 units. But well-designed 3 units, again, for handicap accessibility for some of the elderly or people who need clean, comfortable, safe housing. Do you have any questions as I'm moving through this really quickly? I know you wanted concept, and that's really what I wanted to present here, is to say that this building, I would love to have the opportunity of taking a look at purchasing this building. We'd have to look at zoning, and I wanted to give the council and the mayor and the community an idea to see what we really could do with a building that's truly just sitting empty right now. Does anyone have questions as I moved through this pretty quickly? If you go to the second to the last page, it gives you an idea of some rents. If you want to understand, I would love to do some fair market rents, again, on those lower level apartments, because it's handicap accessible. That's a great opportunity to do fair market rent apartments for those in need for safe, clean, accessible rentals. And then there's opportunities to tier that up from our standard market rent apartment perspective. And if we added a third story, you would have incredible views of the natural landscape that is up here in Pickens, those mountains. Oh, thank you. Absolutely. I want to tell you a little bit of why I want to do this. So y'all know, for those who don't know me, my spouse and I, we renovated Margaret Gilstrap's old house on
Right.
on Haygood, so now, or excuse me, on Hampton. So we own the historic Hampton House wedding venue, and I knew the second I drove up to that house, I wanted to renovate it. I have a passion for houses. I have a passion for renovating properties. And I felt the same when I looked at the teen canteen. I walked into that building with Police Chief Beach and I went, oh, this is so cool. And I just could see so much. And I mentioned him, I said, this would make great apartments. And he looked at me like I was nuts. He thought, how could you see apartments in something like this? But that's exactly what I saw. And with Casey and I putting everything that we have just into this community as we've built up historic Hampton House, we realize how much we love this community and how much we'd like to continue to put our thumbprint on the community by renovating additional property in the area. We are looking to move to this area and become residents of Pickens County. As soon as I can find the right place, y'all better watch out because I'll be your neighbor. And this is just one more example. This is just one more example of ways that we really want to integrate ourselves into the community. And what I came to the council to ask for is I would love to have permission to put in an offer and have that considered. But in order for that to happen, I would also need to ask the city council for rezoning because currently everything on Haygood is a residential non-multifamily zoning. So that's something the council would need to look at in addition to it potentially accepting considering an offer that I would put on the property.
Are you interested in all 2.155 acres?
I would be, because there is, it's advantageous for historic Hampton House as well. It gives me some additional parking opportunities. Now, I understand that there is the Doodle parking lot, and that's already been separated.
I think we use that as an overflow sometimes for the
Yeah.
doodle.
And that's something that that's something that I would be completely happy to discuss with the city as well, is because I would like to have some parking for our venue as well. That could be fantastic overflow for the city. And it could be an advantageous opportunity for both of us. Those were great questions. Anyone else have questions?
You've given us enough meat to try to digest.
Absolutely. That was the
And
point.
I thank you so much for your thorough report. And we're gonna really consider it.
I appreciate that. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you.
it.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Now, number 17, we want to talk about the city's recycling program.
Thank you, Mayor Scipio. We heard from Steve Raines, Pickens County's solid waste director, on December 4th. And what we've learned is that the operation of the landfill started back after it was ceased during the pandemic, but it started back and reopened on a limited basis. For example, it only accepts plastic recyclable materials numbered 1 or 2. Which are the bottles and the jugs, but not the caps of the recycled products. They do accept corrugated cardboard and aluminum, but any material has to be segregated. Steve informed us last month that other cities had ceased their recycling programs. The market is just not what it used to be for recyclables. Our Public Works Department is currently collecting recyclable materials on Thursdays, taking it to the landfill and disposing of it as solid waste. And it's recommended that we end our recycling program and allow our public works staff to free up time to do things like limb and brush collection or other items that they need to focus on. It would just make them more efficient. Any citizen who wants to continue to recycle can certainly do that at the landfill. And again, we support recycling. We would have a more efficient public works operation if we ended our recycling program. And so it's recommended that we end our recycling program after January the 25th.
Can we do this by motion?
Yes, sir.
We can just end it. Why the 25th? Why not like today?
That is that's a Thursday. That gives any citizen who needs to be made aware of this time to, we can get it posted and make citizens aware that we're not going to pick it up anymore, but that they're welcome to continue recycling and taking it to the landfill.
Okay.
So we would post something on our website within the next few days if council approves this tonight.
Okay.
Just gives us time to communicate. Yeah.
For the people who don't get on the internet or look at our website or nothing, didn't Steve say that he might could get us some flyers to mail out, some
Yeah.
brochures or something, to where we could send them to them so everybody would know?
He
That,
did,
you know,
and a sample brochure is attached, but I believe he did say that he would be able to provide us some of those.
Check and see, so, because there'll be a lot of them won't know, they'll still be
Right.
setting it out there.
Be good to have them here too for people.
I will certainly
See if-
be glad to
see what
check
he
with
said.
him to see if he would be willing to do that. Yeah.
Are we gonna collect the recyclable containers back? Can the city use them for anything, or are we just gonna leave them with the folks?
Well, if they're the right material, we could recycle them. We could probably find some use for it, but the citizens might want to keep them if they wanted to continue to recycle. They would probably want to keep those
Take those.
containers, and then they could take it to the landfill. Then they would have to segregate it, but they
Right.
could haul it out to the landfill with those containers.
We won't reform, they keep.
Yeah.
See, we do as a city help out the citizens.
That's right. Well, I make a motion,
All right.
that we end our recycling program after the 25th, and we give notice to everybody in some convenient way for everyone to get it
All right.
as soon as possible.
We have one motion by Mr. Councilman Rogers. We have a second from anyone?
Second.
Second, Councilwoman Allie Winters. We have a vote moved and second. All in favor, raise your right hand. It's unanimous. Consideration of approval of abandonment of Patterson Street, Bryan Street, Lloyd Street. Administrator?
Yes, sir. You have the memo from our city attorney, and in his opinion, there is no basis to object to this relief that is being sought in order, to let this project continue. This is 4 acres on Monroe Street between Pendleton Street and Hampton Avenue. And this would allow for the development of the cottages, which is a subdivision on the property. And again, Daniel says that, in his opinion, there's no basis to object to this, and he would recommend allowing this to happen in order for this project to continue, to move forward.
Or we have consideration of approval of abandonment. Just in layman's terms, what does that mean?
It basically, that is a public road, and so for them to be able to use it, we have to abandon it so that it can be then used for what's necessary for that project to develop.
Okay.
So we would basically be giving up the road. The
Okay.
roads. Yes.
And the road is the road between, in this property, in the backside, between the houses, it's already been, my understanding that, I'm looking at this page, Council, that this road is, Patterson Street is running up in between, here's the cottages, and this is an issue that I spoke to you about,
Right.
Mayor. You know what I mean? The folks that live there are very unhappy with what's going on here. And I'm a little bit reluctant about this because I talked to them at length, and we still have an issue to address with these folks. And I hope that us doing this is not going to put this whole project at further issue, because this was supposed to have been developed. You know what I mean? There was a promise made to the folks who bought the houses right here, and they're all living in them, that all their property was going to be developed
Right.
the same as their homes, and it was not. And now they're selling the property, and they're going to downgrade the properties and the house sizes and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a question as to why is we're doing this so that they can now sell this property behind the cottages?
So they can
to a new-
develop like that,
to
yes.
another
Yes, sir.
developer.
That's correct, yes.
I mean, these folks were promised that this was not gonna happen. And that's,
Right.
you and I were gonna address that issue with one of the gentlemen who I spoke to during the campaign. He lives on this, in the cottages. This property was developed by, oh, I won't mention a name, but I just feel like we're putting this property at risk and for to do this. I mean, he wants, and they were promised that this property would be developed as the cottages, the same quality of home that they purchased on Pendleton Street Extension, and they don't want to see a new developer come in there and make changes to the designs and all the rest that were promised to them. I think we spoke about that before. I think I spoke to Dan, but I'm not sure. Anyway,
But if the current developer isn't gonna continue the development, then it's gonna sit, there's not gonna be anything,
right, well,
far less changes, right? Is that what you're understanding?
yeah. Right now, yeah, it hasn't been developed any further, though there were promises made, and I don't want to further put that at risk, you know, because they feel like, and I have them, when we were sworn in, the gentleman was there again, and so he's serious about this, and I told him to please meet with his neighbors and get anything that you have in writing that was promised to you by the developer of the homes there, the cottages. So I haven't heard back from him yet, but I know it's been a very busy time. But they don't want anything happening, any more to this property other than what was promised to them when they built all these homes down Pendleton Street Extension. And all this property has already been set up to be built on, you know, the way the cottages were built. And now they're going to sell it all out, change the name of the roads, you know, and it's going to really, really upset these folks. And I'm concerned, you know what I mean, that we're jumping the gun on this. At least I promised him I would do the best I could to take a look at this situation, find out why this developer was allowed to make them all these promises. And he obviously built a whole row of houses, and he owned this property back here. And now he's not developing anymore, and he's selling it all out, and they just left holding the bag with the value of their properties going down potentially, and all the promises of the doggy paths and the lighting and all the rest that came with the purchase of this property.
Right.
So anyway, I just wanted.
With that being said, you want to table?
I would like to table this one too, until you and I have a chance to go meet with that gentleman and see if there's anything we can do about meeting the original developer of that property, because I promised him I would do that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes, sir.
you can call me the original developer. My son-in-law and I bought that property probably been 2 or 3 years ago now, the absolute worst trailer park in Pickens. The city at that time was going to, which they agreed with us, at that time, they were going to put in all the water and sewer for us. We had a change of administration, a lot of turnover here. It ended up being that they didn't have any money. So we spent $150,000 cleaning that up, put in new water and sewer. Got everything developed, our plans with a street going in called Cottage Lane, and a cul-de-sac with 20 houses to be built all around that. All that was approved, and I came and met with the city about the naming of the street, everything. Yeah, all that was approved. I go to the county, meet with Mr. Richardson, they approve it. That's exactly, yeah, you did what you're supposed to do, everything's good. So we get a contract, we had another project going in easily. We built 5 houses out there, which are nice houses. And the developer that wants to come in there now, not gonna do any junk. The folks out there don't want the dog park, didn't want the dog park. We worked all kind of stuff out with them, there is no dog park. And, it come down to closing, and the developers, their attorney said that the street was not streets were not legally closed. Well, I thought that was the dumbest thing in the world. I'd already gone to the city, I'd gone to the county, everything was done exactly the way they said to do it. I even went back to the county, he said, I don't know anything about this. I talked to Davey High. Davey got me in touch with a couple of people down at DOT, and after about 3 or 4 weeks, they sent me a letter stating that if the city has handled these streets all these years, if they approve the closing of them, we have no problem with that. But the attorney for the people buying the property says that there's also a little statement in the state rules that said if somebody may be living in those apartments over there, been walking those streets, going to the liquor store, he could protest the closing of the street. So we had to hire an attorney, Jess Sterling and Easley, spend money with him to go through the deal with the DOT and the state. And you had to go out there and post a sign for so many days. Anybody wanted to protest, which nobody did. And we've done everything legally required to close that street. To close those 3 streets. Those were 3 streets in there that went to the different trailers in that trailer park. Lloyd Street, Patterson Street, Lloyd Patterson owned the property. And then we brought another property that was Bryan Street that was owned by a temple in Greenville. Can't think of it.
Yeah, Allen Temple.
Allen Temple. Bought that from Allen Temple. So we've done everything.
Yes.
These folks on that street know that we've been fair dealing with them on everything that we've done up there. And these developers have been waiting for weeks for us to try to legally go through the process, which we have done. It's legally closed. And all we're asking is to approve it so we can move on.
Thank you for explaining that, Mr. Holden. Thank you. Okay, there's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Do we need to table this based on?
That's the motion that I'm entertaining, the table. You can make a motion to table it, it has to be second.
Right.
And we have to vote on that, and I'm waiting on a second right now.
Well, I just take my motion back, and I would just say, based upon the explanation that's been given to us, do we need to do that?
Oh, okay. Well, we don't have to. Thank you so much. Now, can we have another motion to approve the abandonment of Patterson Street, Bryan Street, and Lloyd Street?
I make a motion, we abandon the 3 streets.
Councilman Adams made the motion of those 3 streets. We have a second.
Better understanding, I'm making a second motion.
We have a second from Councilman Rogers. Now we have approved and properly seconded. All in favor, raise your right hand. It's unanimous, and so it is done.
Thank you for that explanation, sir.
Thank you.
I just love the way we do business. Thank y'all so much. Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right. See, we can work together, can't we? That's what this is all about. We're going to do a lot of this in the future. Approval of funds for J.C. Park. You have the floor again, Administrator.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. Our fine recreation director has put together a good cost estimate, and it's going to be at almost $70,000 in order to do the work necessary to get J.C. Park opened up this spring. We have received $50,000 from Pickens County for this work. We also received $55,000 to repair the water fountain at Legacy Park. That work was not completed, and that was from the state, and we do have permission to use those funds as well at J.C. Park. So I would offer for y'all to consider that we approve the $50,000 that Pickens County gave us, and up to $20,000 from state money to make the improvements to get the park open in the spring that Jonathan's put together. I do want to add that Jonathan, that I met with Ken Roper late last year, and Jonathan has been talking with the staff with Pickens County. They have what they call a community assistance program. We may get some support from the county from that area and to get the park open, but we know that there's been a big interest in getting J.C. Park open. And so we just ask for y'all to consider approving those funds to get the park open this spring. And I'll ask Jonathan if he has anything he wants to add to this.
I believe everything, I don't know if you have all the information from the packets, but I believe everything that's in there gives you a good overview of what it would take to have it open by the spring. A lot of the timeline would depend on if the county's assistance is available or not. We should find out some answers on that pretty quickly, we hope. And then once we find that out, we'll be able to start moving forward upon y'all's approval tonight. Do you have any questions for me or anything?
Thank you for getting this all together, Shannon.
I want to make a statement.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. We have been working with this problem of J.C. Park for far too long. We're not moving in the right direction with your leadership. I just know we're gonna get this done now.
Thanks.
So I'm all for helping to get this done. I know the funds have been for the Legacy Square, but that's gonna be worked out at a later date. So the funds that we can use for J.C. Park would really benefit this park, because it's been closed down for far too long. That's my statement, and it's basically a say a thank you for working on this. And I know you're gonna make it happen. All right, now I put you on the hot seat now. You gotta do it now, you said it in public.
Don't have a choice.
You gotta follow through. So I'd like to entertain a motion that we approve the funds for J.C. Park.
I make a motion, we approve the funds.
Thank you, sir. And second, by Councilman White.
Get busy, son.
Yes, sir. Glad.
It's been moved and properly second. All in favor, raise your right hand.
Get it done.
It is done unanimously. Thank you so much. Now, we're getting ready to convene into executive session to discuss an employment matter. Please wait, because I'm not going to be a mayor to not inform you what goes on back here. We're going to be able to let you know exactly what we're doing, and we're going to come out with some results of executive session. So I challenge you to wait, because you're not going to come here and we get out of executive session and then we ask everybody, can I get a motion to adjourn? By law, we need to let you know exactly what we're doing in the executive session, what kind of results that can come from it. So we won't be long, but we really, at this time, would like to entertain a motion that we convene into executive session.
Make a motion that we convene into executive session.
Councilwoman Hallie Winters. Do we have a second? Second. Councilman Danny Adams. It's been moved and properly second. All in favor, raise your right hand.
I make a motion.
I need a second. All right, Cameron got it up first. It was Danny made the first motion. Cameron second. Now, let's act. The action as a result of executive session. I'm sorry. We got to vote on reconvening. I'm excited. Did I see your right hand? We unanimous? Can we reconvene, Mr. Neal?
Yes, sir.
All right. That's Mr. Neely that's a little bit under the weather. He wanted to be part of this. Action as a result of executive session. We have to appoint as a new council our clerk of council and our attorney. And I would like to bring forth Ms. Donna Owens, and we need a motion to appoint Ms. Donna Owens as our clerk to council. Can I get a motion?
I make a motion that we lovingly appoint Donna Owen to continue serving as our clerk.
Can I get a second? Second by Mr. Floyd Rogers. It's been moved and properly second. All in favor, right hands.
Which one you want?
Make a motion that we lovingly appoint Donna Owen to continue serving as our clerk.
I don't think you have to smile.
All right.
Mr.
Okay, we got it unanimous. Welcome. We're glad to have you a part of us. Now, our second appointee will be our city attorney, Mr. Daniel Hughes, who's been our attorney since I've been on. Does a very good job, and I need a motion that we appoint Attorney Daniel Hughes as our attorney for our upcoming term.
Make a motion we appoint Daniel Hughes as attorney.
Can I get a second?
Second.
We're getting moved by Councilman Rogers, second by. Been moved and properly second. All in favor, raise your right hand. It's unanimous. Now, we have in deliberation about our new administrator, Mr. Tim O'Brien. I would like to entertain a motion for to hire him as our new administrator, and then we're gonna have a second motion after that. Okay, I have a motion?
I make a motion.
Can I have a second? All right, got a second from Councilman Rogers. It's been moved and properly second. All in favor? Mr. Neely, are you in favor?
Yes, sir.
He said, yes, sir. It's unanimous. Glad to have you.
Glad to be on the team.
Let's get busy.
Let's do it.
I think he's ready. And I feel more confident now that I met your wife. Yeah. We're gonna move it in great ways. We're looking forward to this. Now we need another motion as far as the salary to start off with. Can I entertain that motion?
We can, do you want us to,
And
yeah,
Okay. I'm sorry.
yeah.
That's right. Just give me a motion to execute.
I'll make a motion for the mayor to be able to execute.
Negotiate and execute.
Negotiate and execute the process of salary with new administrator.
All right, can I get a second? Mr. Cameron Rivers, give us a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Is that okay, Mr. Neely?
Yes, sir.
All right. Is there any other business? Now that we are through with all business, can I get a motion that we adjourn?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I second that motion.
I'm sorry, Bruce?
I want to know, can we hear a little background on the new administrator?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you explain for me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Introduce yourself.
Not to be rude to council, but I'll turn my back on you. We do face to face. Hello, Pickens. The mayor said it's a new year, and I'm very excited with the trajectory that Pickens is set on, and I'm very excited to be a part of it and be on Team Pickens. And we're going to do some exciting things. My background, again, this is my lovely wife, Jennifer, who really has enjoyed me touring her around Pickens here today. I am a South Carolina boy. I was born in Brunswick, Georgia, but my parents got me across the line and got me to Charleston as soon as they could. And I grew up in Walterboro, graduated high school from Walterboro High School. Down in the land of the Murdochs. If you watched any true crime television lately, I'm well acquainted with them. We can all spin stories about my association with them as a young man. I graduated from Francis Marion University with a degree in political science and mass communications. I have been a child of local government and a kind of a geek on local government all of my life. Worked early with government, then went into the media business, where I had quite a successful career managing large media organizations, but concentrating on local government. And then you might have noticed that the media business isn't doing as well as it once was, so I returned to my first love. And for the last several years, I've been the Economic Development Director and working in the City Manager's Office in Aiken, South Carolina. And now I am pleased, again, to be a part of Team Pickens. We'll get to know each other better in the coming days, weeks, and years, because as I promised as council, I ain't going anywhere anytime soon.
Come back here.
You haven't negotiated yet, so you might not.
Yes. We had, also, we had citizens that sat in on all our interviews, Minister Carlton Holly and, also
David.
David Harnett. And they also approved. They were so impressed with you, Tim. I'm glad that we had citizens to be a part of that also. I feel that now we're getting ready to embark on a new trajectory. All I ask you to do is give us a chance. I know sometimes you can be skeptical and you don't know what the future holds, and I'm just a firm believer that if we stay together as a little town, we can do anything. The possibilities are endless. But I also know there's some people that you just can't please. I'm going to still work hard to please them too. I'm not going to give up on that. I've seen our council work in such a harmonious way. We're not going to always agree, but we're going to be civil and professional as we move forward. Y'all are not going to have to deal with negativity, not up here. We're going to do what's right for Pickens. Thank y'all for coming to be a part of this. Take your time and get to meet Tim and Jennifer. We're glad to have you. Welcome to the community. Thank you so much. Now I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. You already got a second? Y'all got me all confused. Let me see right hands.
We waiting on you.
All right, it's unanimous, we adjourn. Don't run off, y'all. Let's get to meet.